We did good.
We're live.
Dun, dun, dun.
Welcome to Friday,
guys.
ladies and gentlemen. I am Tim Gillette, and this is the Katrina Garcia
Yay,
Tim Gillette show. I don't know. Damn. I'm second seat in this one, ladies and gentlemen. We all know who the real boss is.
And I'm stuck outside because we've got painters on the inside. So.
Wait a minute. So no. My neighbor's place has had painters and construction workers all week, and I was worried because they were doing like they had to cut like the bottom ridge to get rid of mold and stuff.
Yeah.
Re-insulate, re-drywall. All right. Texture and repaint. And I thought for literally it's this wall right here. It's on the other side of that wall that they're doing this, right? But it's downstairs, not upstairs. So
Yikes.
I've been worried all week. Like, I'm going to hear noise. These guys are going to make such a racket. I haven't heard hardly anything out of these guys, except for when the guys was here yesterday cutting the trim to put on the bottom.
That's awesome. Well,
most noise I've heard all week.
You may hear in the background a chicken because we have neighbors in the back that have chickens. You may hear some cooing of the doves. So
Wait a minute. Can you go steal your eggs from your neighbor's chickens?
I already have a source. I don't need to. I have a good friend who has a whole bunch of chickens, and we get free eggs from them all the time. And they're awesome. Awesome. So today, guys, you know what? We have a really cool topic to start with because the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because I know everybody's always talking about burnout, especially with COVID and trying to reinvent their wheel and their business and la. And it's this whole burnout. And I read this really interesting article about burnout archetypes. And I'm sure some of you may recognize yourself in this burnout archetype, but it also talks about how to combat them. And so we're going to go through the list, and you tell me, Tim, which one you are. I already know which one I am. So you tell me which one you are as we go through this.
You know, Tim doesn't fit in a box anyway, right?
Oh, I know. And it could be a combination of both. You never know. So
I can be difficult and be all of them.
Of course.
That's my type. I'm all. Yeah.
You're all in. So the first one is the overgiver. And of course, that just says it in itself that you're constantly helping people and giving. And you get your burnout. And the thing is to help combat your burnout, you got to fill your emotional bucket. And I'm sure some people out there know what that is. Some people may not. What that basically means is just you've got to do more for yourself because you've done so much for everybody else. And the other one is the overdoer. Mm-hmm. You know, some of those that tend to do way too much and they need to give themselves space. So to make things simple, just sit still and rest and give themselves space in order to combat their burnout. Then there's the overachiever. I think this is Tony personally, the overachiever, people who impress on how much they get done and underneath, sometimes they're afraid of that failure, which really makes them crash hard with the burnout. And so what they need to do to ground themselves is to really get down and figure out what they need to do to get themselves back, so to speak, because they're doing too much. And the one I am is I'm the overthinker. You are the one who figures everything out. And my burnout is, when I burn out, I lose my focus. I become foggy. It kind of disappears. And so my burnout is the combat for me is I have to get out of my head. So based on all of those, I'd be interested to hear what anybody else is. And so you heard that. What are you, Tim?
I'm the guy who from the Bob Newhart show. All right. I want to give you advice. Stop it, or I'll bury you alive in a box.
Are you the overthinker?
No.
Or the overachiever?
I'm the overdoer.
The overdoer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My wife's the overgiver.
Yeah.
Oops. Did I share that, honey? I'm sorry.
Oops. I did it again. Oops. But I mean, I think some people are a combination. Personally, I'm a combination of the overgiver and the overthinker. I have a tendency to give too much sometimes, and I get burnt out because I feel depleted. But then I'm the overthinker too, where I'm always figuring things out, and then I become very unfocused.
But why, all right, overthinker, did you pick this subject? I'm curious. What made you even research this subject this last week? All right, for us to have on the show. I'm curious, overthinker.
Well, in honesty, I have been dealing with burnout myself. I mean, as you know, we're in the process of doing a move, and I'm running a business, and I'm trying to get everything, together with the move. And I'm finding that my creativity, it's not there like it usually is. And what I do has to have a lot of creativity along with that. So I'm finding sometimes when I'm sitting down to do something, I almost have to take a step back and just kind of regroup because I'm having a hard time with the fogginess. So I'm dealing with that burnout. And personally, I thought I've talked to other people too, and they're dealing with burnout too. So I figured this was a perfect opportunity to bring this up so that people can try to figure out what, not only what their burnout archetype is, but how to deal with it so they can combat it and get past that burnout.
Would now in your research though, did you realize or did you think about this? Like, I mean, knowing in your world, which is first of all how we help problems is we try to fix our own problems first.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
But like in your research for this, I'm guessing you found a lot of information. All right, that helped you come up with this article this week because right now everybody's still, they've been stuck inside, and some of them are still worried they're going to be stuck inside again.
Yep. I mean, some people are enjoying it, but some people, I mean, we keep going back and forth with this whole variant with the COVID. And so it makes it difficult, and people are really dealing with burnout. It's real, and it's not just life burnout, it's business burnout. And as entrepreneurs, that's our life force. We are the business. So if we're burning out, how are we going to manage to do things for our clients? And so I thought this was an interesting thing to figure out how to combat that. So that we can get back on track and do the best we can considering the circumstances.
I was once asked, I was on a panel one time, this has got to be 2017, 16 maybe. I was on a panel and I was asked that this is the question they asked the panel. All right, what do you think about someone when they say work-life balance? And a 5-person entrepreneur panel, do you, I mean, you know what I'm going to say, but the audience may not, is everybody on this panel, which I'm friends with almost all of them now, right? I mean, half of them I didn't know before then, but all of them said, sounds to me like somebody who doesn't love what they do.
Really? Yeah. Yeah, because it is difficult. It's difficult to have that work-life balance.
Well, I never once sat back and went, well, how do I balance my life and my work? I don't ever think about that. Why?
No, I just move forward. I mean, I didn't think about how, I've never thought about it.
Yeah. I have never, though, in my life, Katrina, have never been a 9-to-5 guy. No. I've never been, all right, well, okay, I put on my work hat and I go to work at 9 a.m. Even when I worked at Starbucks, all right, to me, I was always working. I'm always working at something.
Yeah.
Now, when I decide, okay, it's time to take a break, I decide I take a break. I go take a break. All right. But I never once sit back and go, well, I'm burnt out. All right. I realize I don't have any money, but I'm burnt out. So let me charge $5,000 on my credit cards to go on a vacation that I can't afford. All right. Because I'm burnt out. I don't. I've never thought that way. Now, my wife right now is going through a lot and she's frustrated. And so we just said, okay, Labor Day weekend, we're going away. I don't know where we're going yet. We're going away.
Yep.
But we don't stop now and go, oh, well, we're burned out. All right. So let me throw away, 9 months of me doing work that has to be completed this week because I'm burnt out.
We just keep moving forward as entrepreneurs. Yeah. I mean, and I think that's what differs between corporate and entrepreneurs is corporate. They get their burnout and they do their vacation or they do whatever they need to get that. And they're more of that work-life balance, I think, because I was in corporate and that was something that they even had specialists come in and talk about, your work-life balance and trying to get everybody. But I think as an entrepreneur, our burnout it's not necessarily burnout. It's different. It's not the same. And because I've been on both sides, I can say this.
I have too. I've been on both sides. Yeah.
I think the burnout as an entrepreneur is not necessarily just like, okay, I quit, I'm done. You're just, okay, well, this isn't working. So I need to take a step back and figure out what do I need to do to make this work? And I think that's kind of part of the burnout is you're figuring out so much all the time and we work long hours. I mean, there are times I work till 6, 7 o'clock at night, or I'll be up at midnight because something comes to my head and I start working. So in a corporate sense, you know, when you walk in the door, for the most part, you're done. Your job is done.
I don't know. But when you work-life balance and you're working in a corporation, all right, and you're burnt out, but your vacation isn't until, all right, it's August, and your vacation isn't until December.
Yeah.
You don't walk into your boss and go, well, I need work-life balance, all right? I need a vacation because I'm burnt out. Well, who's going to say your vacation's in December, dude?
Yeah. So deal with it. We're all
deal with it. All right.
Yeah.
And everybody in the entrepreneur space wants to go, well, I need to be balanced out. All right. You know, burnout's going to happen. All right. And you need to find a way to alleviate your world to balance it out. But there is no such thing as, let me go into one day, well, I feel like taking a vacation today. Let me just take off. All right. If you have employees, all right, and I've interviewed a gentleman yesterday, 150 employees that he's gained in the past year. He's like, I can't just automatically go, I'm going to take time off. No, I have a commitment to these employees to schedule them, to get them trained, to get them doing their job so that they can make money and our company can succeed. Just because I want to take time off doesn't mean I get to take time off.
Well, and then when you're an entrepreneur by yourself too, and you don't have a team or you don't have employees because you're not at that point, you take time off and you don't get the money.
That's right.
It's not flowing until, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you can have systems in place, which we've talked about, but you're still having to do the work and it still has to be done. Mm-hmm. And so I think, and personally, I think that's why, I mean, for myself, I was just burned out because I had burnout on both sides. Mm-hmm. Personally, we're going through a lot. We're going through a move and painting and redoing the house and all this and the business on top of it. So it was the combination of both for me.
It's your kids. I'm telling you, if you didn't have kids, you wouldn't have this problem.
Well, I do, but he's not a kid anymore. He's 34.
That was a burnout for us. All right, before we change subject, that was a burnout for us. Is we actually had a 5-bedroom house on the lake, and all of our kids were under 30 years of age, but over 20, and all of them were living in the house, rent free. One of them was paying something. Now, we didn't fully own the house. My father-in-law did. So one son was paying father-in-law something. The other ones weren't. They were just living there free of charge. And father-in-law passed away. Grandpa went bye-bye. And we went, okay, kids, you're adults now. By the way, the house is up for sale. You have to go find some place to live.
It'll be free.
Yep. Now, we paid deposits for some, but we would not co-sign for any of our kids' leases. No. All right. We paid deposits on some, all right, and some made it, some didn't. Some had to fall before they figured it out.
Yeah, and I think that's life. I mean, you kind of have to, you got to go through those mistakes and those bumps before you can learn to be strong and move forward and figure things out. That's all part of it, and that's part of being an entrepreneur. But I just thought, when I read this with the burnout archetypes, and I'm reading through this, I'm going, okay, yeah, that's me. I can see that. Yeah.
Which goes into another subject. All right. With it. I mean, this could totally go off the rails with you and I in a conversation. And that's why that's why we have a guideline of what we talk about, guys. Yes. Because we can go off the rail. But this goes down to how often have you watched a drug commercial and they said, is this a problem? Is this a problem? It's a problem for your lung. You're going, oh my God, I better Google my symptoms.
Yes.
All right. And you start Googling your symptoms, and before you know it, you're like, oh my gosh, I got, you know what I mean? I got cancer of the butthole. All right. Because I have all these symptoms. It's like, no, you don't. You basically
just
think
made it
you
up.
have all those symptoms.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, I just thought it was a great opportunity for people to you just have to kind of recognize it. I think personally, you have to recognize what your burnout looks like and how to
fix it.
And that's just like an entrepreneur. We learn the best on how to fix it.
Yeah. So as my mother taught me, stop it.
Yes. We always learn how to fix things. So going into our next topic, which I'm sure you're going to love because you're an Apple person.
Oh yeah.
Apple recently redid their website and they made one little tweak that is probably the smartest tweak that every business should be making. Do you know what that tweak might be?
Hold on. I'm actually going to bring up, all right.
The website.
I'm going to bring up the website. I don't know if you can
Yeah.
see the website, right?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right. So, all right. What is it that tell me what to do on this website and why we're doing this?
So originally, when you used to go on Apple, you would go into products, I believe it was.
Yeah. Well, they're all products across the top.
Yep. And you would have your products, but now they're look at the product and see how it says buy.
Well, there's right here. It says learn more and buy.
Or buy. Exactly. Before, all they had was the product, and then you had to go through all the product and figure out what it's all about before you can buy. Now they've made it easier for you to buy.
Oh God, I'm not buying a new iMac. I like my iMac better.
But see how easy they've made it for you to buy now. It's not a 2-step, it's a 1-step.
Oh, that's the iMac I like. There we go.
When you go on their main website and you see now their products are all there across the board, they're giving you 2 options. One, if you want to learn more, and one, if you're ready to just buy right now.
Okay, so I click the buy button. Now, this is very similar to what they've had though over the years. Buy, but I mean.
But before, when you hit that buy button,
yeah,
it would take you through the product and learn all about the product before you'd have the opportunity to buy. So it's a 2-step process.
Oh.
Now you get to see up front whether you want to learn about it or you're ready to buy because you already know the product.
So let's price out. Should we price out a new computer while I'm here?
But I mean, this is ingenious because they've made it easy for their customers to buy instead of doing that 2-step process. And this is something we should all be doing as business owners when it comes to our website. How easy are we making it for our clients to do things with us? And Apple, actually, this is ingenious on what they did. They made it very easy for their buyers to actually buy. So you can
Here's the problem when I buy a Mac is I want you to notice the price down the bottom after I put everything into it to make it work the way I need it to work.
Yeah. Apples are not free. They're not cheap. They are not cheap.
That is my first 7 cars, by the way.
Yes, they're not cheap. They are definitely not cheap. But they have made it. They are, I will admit this. I'm not a big Apple fan, but I will admit this. Their marketing is phenomenal.
Of course it is. Why do you think I have a Mac? They marketed it to me.
They market really well. And that's kind of why they became so good and that's why they are where they're at, is because of their marketing. They market all right. To a T.
I'm in John Limbacher's group, and John Limbacher has been talking about the big idea. They've been talking big idea with everything they've done for years. It's all the big idea.
Yep. And
they've got it down. And have for years. I remember when I was running my business off of that Dell laptop back there, right? And my friend Mike O'Neill, a good buddy of mine, from Integrated Alliances up in Minnesota, was down here in Dallas visiting me, and he'd bought a used Mac. This was 2011. Bought a used Mac, and at the time, my oldest stepson had a Mac, my daughter had a Mac. All right. And they seemed cool to me, but Mike came down with one, and he said to me, for doing video, that's why he got it. He said everything integrated.
They're really good at. They're really good for creativity. Yeah. Excellent.
So immediately I'm like, okay, well, that's what I'm going to do. So I went to the Mac store and I bought a laptop right off the shelf. That's where, all right, probably 8-9 years ago, that was okay. Now to do the video and live streaming, everything I do, to buy it off the shelf. Like I bought this desktop off the shelf, but I had to gut it, replace the hard drive. All right. Which after the warranty's up, you gotta cut this thing open to get in there. This is not a, let me just unscrew the back panel. No, you gotta cut this thing apart to do it.
They do not.
All right. And I did it. And now it won't, because I'm 1 year older, that won't take the new Mac operating system. So like, I'm probably, I'd love to buy that, but $8,200 is the one I would price out for me to do it right. Otherwise I would end up fixing something down the line.
Yep.
I would probably go buy a 3 to 4 year old 27-inch on Amazon, and now that I know how to do it, would got it open.
Yeah.
Because I could do it for under $1,000.
Not everybody knows how to do that. And Apple was the first one with their device in regards to their phones that they attached the battery to the board so that you cannot replace the battery. So when the battery goes dead, you have to buy a new phone.
Yeah.
And Samsung actually followed along with that, thinking, oh, that's a good idea. Now we can get people to buy more phones. But that, as a consumer, that's frustrating to me, because if it's just a simple battery, why can't I keep using my old phone? Why do I have to buy a new phone constantly? And we've had this discussion too, and that's one of my big pet peeves when it comes to Apple, is they're really good at, oh, look, there's the brand new phone. It's got these 3 options. Buy it now before it da-da-da-da-da. And it comes out every year. However, because of the chips and the demand, and that they're having a hard time getting the electronics, they're not going to be coming out with new phones for a little while. Nobody is.
I'm okay with that. I'm working. Wait a minute. I have an 11. I think my mom has the 12 or whatever number it is out there. Yeah. I still have in my drawer, and if I plugged it back in and made it work, I still have my old 7. Man, my old 7 was fine.
But it'll be the first time in a long time that they will not be coming out with a new phone, because Apple, for the most part, has come out with a new phone almost every year, as well as Samsung.
Yeah.
They will not be doing that because of the demand, and as well as the electronics and so forth. They're having a hard time getting that. So it will be the first.
So, but truthfully, this is a business decision. And if many of you out there are always going, well, I'll just come up with a new product. Imagine if you delayed your products, all right, after you've gotten your community into using to buy something new from you every year. And then you went to go, okay, we're only going to release the newer version every 2 years.
Yep.
Guys, you're going to up your sales. You're going to double your sales.
Yep.
And everybody's like, well, no, you're getting just the same sale. No.
Nope.
People are going to wait, because there's people who are waiting, and they're going to buy. Twice as many people are going to buy, because it's like, oh, it's going to be 2 more years. Okay, I don't want to wait 2 more years. So now you're going to get the person who is going to buy 3 years from now instead of 1 year from now.
Yep.
It's a smart move on Apple's part doing that, and it's
very
a smart move on technology, because they have gotten used to us giving it something new every year. Whereas if they now change it up, all right, and just keep the same model for 2 years, and then do a major change after 2 years.
Yep. It's just like a concert. You've got if you remember correctly, there are bands out there that only come out like maybe 5-10 years when they do a concert, and they're sold out before they've even gone on to even advertise for them. They're sold out because people are waiting for them to come to their town. They haven't seen them live, and it makes it more enticing because it's not constantly out there. It's not something you can get on a regular basis. And I think, like you said, it's a smart decision on Apple, and not necessarily because they have the choice, but I think it's going to be better for them and the industry as a whole, because they're going to get more money, and it's going to be more of a draw, because now people are like, oh, there's no new one until like 3 or 4 years down the road. Ooh, okay. Well, then they're really going to come up with something juicy. I'll just start saving my money now, so that when that comes out, man, I'm on board. I'm buying it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they come out with they come out with 1 or 2 different things new on your and mine car every year. Are you going to go trade your car in every year?
Nope.
Now, I know Steve Jobs, when he was alive, he did something like that, where basically he had a thing where he basically drove a car for 6 months and then flipped it. Yeah. All right. And you know what I mean? I've known people to do that. I personally, drive my cars 5 years. I personally use my phone for 2 years, 3 years, sometimes if I can. My computers, all right. My desktop that we're looking at, I bought this desktop in 2014.
Yeah.
I'm still using it. I just have upgraded things onto it and make it work. My laptop, I bought in 2018. That was 7 years old, because I bought my previous one in 2011. So 7 years old. So it's about 5 years in between everything. And in between, I do some things to upgrade it and enhance it and make it work for a couple of years. this idea that we buy technology and replace it every year is why we're going to have tons of junk. You know what I mean? It's like I went into the Starbucks the other day and they're starting to put out paper straws. Dude, you know, paper straws are not going to work. I'm sorry. They don't work. I don't care how much you think they work. Yeah. All right. But I'm being punished because some moron doesn't know how to throw away his plastic straw. So I, all right, have learned to be responsible with my electronics. All right. The people who are going to drop, kick, and smack and crack and break the screen on it 3 days after that, I shouldn't be punished because they can't take care of their products.
Yep. I agree. I totally agree. And I can't tell you how many times I've had friends that have had an Apple phone and they've had it for, I don't know, about a month or two, and now it's cracked. And I tell them, well, why don't you get a new one? Too expensive, can't afford it. Then maybe you shouldn't have bought it in the first place. I always get, no, my wife has the OtterBox thing, but I have this thing that has a lip. Yes, I have the OtterBox too.
I don't have the OtterBox, but I have a lip, and it just has a little bit of a lip. And only one time I think that it landed, all right, to where I thought it was going to come down, and it literally landed, and it was high enough off the ground that it didn't touch the screen.
Yeah.
All right. But I mean, other thing is I just responsibly put it in a pocket every time.
Well, to this day, I've had, I'm an Android girl, but to this day, I've always had a case for my phones, and I have not, knock on wood, broken one. Mm-hmm. The screen has not been broken. And I've dropped it a couple times, but I'm always very careful. And I also have the ring on the back so that I can hang on to it. So I don't, even more so. And it's the first thing I buy. I mean, with my electronics, the way I deal with my electronics, as soon as I buy a laptop, it has a case. It has everything I need to protect it. As soon as I buy a phone, it has a case and everything I need to protect it, because that's money I have invested, and I want that sucker to last as long as possible. So if I have to do this or that to do that, I will do it.
For me, I got to find the case, but it's got to be thin enough that I can still put it in my pocket.
Yeah, I get it.
So, I always had, now I have it. It's a metal plate that my thing is stuck to. With the metal plate, I used to have a metal thing in my truck that I just click to my truck. And if I was in a truck, it never came off of there. Right. I have a way just about putting things in here on my desk. I have this little thing on my desk that my phone sits in.
Yeah.
I have one down by my couch and one in by my bed. And it sits nicely.
I got one of those too.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So
it's not so awesome when I'm trying to talk to somebody on it because the speaker's blocked and I have to take it out of the speaker every time.
I'm just saying that Apple did a great job with this website. I was very impressed with what they did. They made it so easy for their customers to buy without doing this two-step. And I'm just as guilty as the next person. When we set up our websites, we have a tendency to make our audience jump through loops. You want to contact me? Oh, you got to go to the contact page because I don't have my contact information anywhere else. Oh, wait, you want to get my social media? You got to go to this page because I don't have it anywhere else. Oh,
I don't get, wait a minute. I never have gotten that idea of, I got you to my webpage. Let me send you back to my social media. I've never gotten that idea. Yes, I have the links there, but I am not, when I get you to my page, I am not trying to get you to go back to my social media. I got you on my page. That's where I wanted to get you from social media to. You locked up. No. You can't do this to me. Unfreeze yourself. I demand it. Katrina has left the broadcast. Hello. There she is.
Sorry. Being outside is part of the.
Hey, they have these devices. They're called these long blue cords that you plug into the computer and plug into the router.
My router is way at the other end of the house. It's not long enough.
You buy a longer cord. I have longer cords, and if I basically am going someplace, I'm taking a cord with me just in case. Well,
you know what? I will be buying one just in case. So that way I have it set up. I apologize, guys.
I am hardwired into everything. And now I even have this. All right, speaking of Apple. All right. Don't crack that screen, Tim. I bought this years ago. This is an Apple, one of those Apple Air.
Oh,
AirPorts.
yeah.
So basically, I could run a wire from downstairs, which comes out of the wall here. I can run it right into this, and then I could run from here. I can run 1, 2, 3, 4 more things off of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even if that's all I'm using it for is a port to port out my internet.
I need to get one of those. It's just right now things are everywhere because we're packing, and it's just like, it's a mess. It's a mess.
Again, I have the basics set to pack with me. All right. I have this, just happen to have this out. When I go on a trip, right here is everything. There's a camera in here. There's a microphone in here, a microphone stand, and wires to plug into my laptop to go. And this is a road case. This is not for the office. This is for the road. I go on a trip. It goes in the suitcase.
Very cool. Well, I guess
Plan
I'll
these
be
things
getting
out,
one
girl.
of those. I guess we should get one of those.
Yeah. Plan this world out.
Yes. Definitely.
Anyway,
And
guess what
definitely.
time it is? Guess what time it is?
Is it time for the tip?
Tip of the week. Da, da, da. What's your
So
tip of the week?
my tip of the week is tying into the Apple website is how simple are you making it for your audience to buy from you? Are you making it easy for them to set up an appointment? Are you making it easy for them to buy a product or a service? Are you making them jump through hoops? Make your site easy for them to find the things they need to find. And please, 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 is one of my pet peeves. Put your contact information in the footer or at the top so you're easy to contact. If they can't find that information, they have to go hunting for it. In their mind, they're thinking, why are they not providing that? Are they not trustworthy? What's going on? So make sure you make it as easy as possible for your audience to participate with you, do business with you, get in touch with you. That's my tip of the week.
But what if you're someone like me who I actually have them that I have them come to my website, but I want the people who come there to either read my blog, join my newsletter, or call me about speaking.
Well, and you can do those with the navigations at the top, or
I do it with
the front page that has the information on there, making it easy.
I make my contact through my help desk in Kartra.
Oh, well,
plugin.
That's another way you can do it too. Mm-hmm. But the thing is I can't tell you how many times I have gone to somebody's website and I can't find their phone number, their address, who to contact, nothing. And you have to go to the contact page, and even then sometimes they don't have the information. It's almost like they just don't want to be contacted.
Let me see what my contact. I haven't even thought about that in a while.
And it should always be at the end, at the footer of your website, so that way it's easy for people to either email you, call you on the phone, or, at least find a way so that they can contact you somehow. And my other one too is a lot of times with websites, they don't put the phone number on there for mobile app capability. So when you hit that number, a lot of times a good website is when you're calling and you want to call and go to that website quickly and you click on that phone number, you know how a lot of times it'll automatically come up and then you can just start to call without having to type in the number. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. A lot of websites don't do that. You have to literally copy, paste the number. You're making it more difficult.
That's mine. Right there's my contact page.
Yeah.
Name, email address, phone number. Hire Tim to speak, book a consultation. I actually had the
easy.
I took away the box where basically you could type me a letter.
Yeah.
And I did that for a reason, because everybody that was coming, almost all of the contacts I was getting and all of the ones I got with that message box were people giving me a sales pitch.
Yep.
When I did this, I got rid of sales pitches.
The other thing you can do on this page too is you can provide 3 buttons. So you can provide a button where if they want to contact you to be a speaker, mm-hmm. You can provide a button if they want to get a hold of you for, maybe you have a consultation call for that, and you give them an opportunity to have a 30-minute consultation call or whatever. Mm-hmm. Or if they're interested in your next event or so on and so forth, they see the events coming up. So you give them options instead of just this basic generic thing. Give them options, because like I said, the easier you make it for your audience, the longer they're going to stick around and the more they're going to come back.
We'll work on this on mine, because you just gave me an idea how I want to do with mine. So.
Yep. And we all need to do this. I mean, I'm the cobbler's shoe. I got to do my shoes.
I know. So anyway, so the only tip I had for this week, Katrina, was, and this just literally what happened within the last 48 hours, is I was reading someone's Facebook post, and he was talking about, you know what I mean? Man, and I'm going to see if I can find the post, and I'll give you an idea without the post, without him. Well, I don't want to give his name, all right, because I don't want to embarrass the poor guy. But he's somebody I've known for a while, and he basically was putting down, like, you know what I mean, when you're trying to make a comeback, all right, and it's so hard, what do you do? And I actually posted this down there. I mean, too often people are focused on their comeback, are focused on, hey, me.
Yep.
Comebacks ain't about you. The reason you're trying to make a comeback is because it was all about you in the first place.
Yep.
All right. Guy, I'm not doing everything for me. I have a show that has my name onto it, and I always say this is the Tim Gillette show, but it's not about me. It's about my guests.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's not about you. It's about the people you help. All right. No matter what we give you for information, for your website, for creating content, all right, for whatever you're doing on your social channels, guys, stop making it about you. All right. It is not about you. It's about helping other people. And if you're not helping other people, you're not going to be in business.
Nope.
So
that's a good tip.
That's
Very
another way
tip.
to stop from being burned out too, by the way.
Yes. Very true. Very true. And it's just, I mean, like Tim said, you've got to be able to do that, and you've got to be able to give your clients what they need and be very helpful in the process.
So, I mean, and which I mean, we'll cover this more as we go through our last segment today, because our last segment, we got some more in that. All right. And we want to take that to another level there. But let's go on with this next one here on the browser options. What was your first browser, first of all, before we even go there?
Oh my gosh. My first browser was Netscape. And I don't know if anybody remembers Netscape. It was a long, long, long time ago. And it's a lot different now. I mean, it's laid out much
Netscape
differently.
even in business anymore?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I think they got bought out and they just kind of dissolved.
Yeah. Mine was AOL. I was an AOL browser. Wow. All right. And I remember when because I had a PC then. All right. And I remember getting, what is the PC, the Microsoft Windows. Yeah. Remember Windows 95. I remember getting Windows 95, and it came with, as a bonus, their browser. What was their browser called in 95?
I believe it was Explorer.
I think it was. Yeah, Windows Explorer, I think it was
Windows
back then.
Explorer.
So that would have been my second browser. And then it was, I mean, everything that you did through AOL, you had to connect through the AOL portal. It wasn't like you could just bring up a browser on your computer because it was connected to the internet. No, you had to dial in to be connected to the internet through their window. Yeah.
Do you remember Earthlink?
Yes, I do.
I loved Earthlink when they first came out. They had the best customer service, and then they sold it to another big company, and oh my God, it went downhill from there.
Yeah, there was another dial-up browser that I used for a long time because it had a free or dirt cheap price, and I don't remember what it was. But
there were a lot of them out there.
Yeah.
I mean, now we've got Chrome, which is the big one.
Yeah.
We've got Mozilla Firefox. You've got Safari for Apple. Microsoft now has Edge, which they've upgraded and done things to, and so forth. And then there's the other ones too. I don't know if you've heard of DuckDuckGo, which is more of a private. It's supposed to be a private browser, so that there's more privacy and you don't share information. But what I don't think a lot of people realize too in those browsers is you have the option to go incognito. It does cut back on a lot of the ads that you're going to get and them following you, but not as much as DuckDuckGo. You still, still have that.
I always use incognito when I'm surfing porn. I mean,
I do.
When you're surfing porn, you do too, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. But sometimes you want people to know. You want to know your. So you just go with it, I am who I am.
Okay. Things we found out about Katrina today.
But I mean, there's a lot of options. And what people I don't think realize, especially with Chrome, is there's 3 dots in the top far right.
Yeah.
And with those 3 dots, there's a lot of stuff you can do. You can set up your privacy. There's security checks to check your computer and make sure that your security is all in check, or things that you may have to set up. There's a zoom in and a zoom out, so that if you're having problems seeing text on a website, you can zoom into it so you can see it without your glasses. Hold
on, let me try that. Hold on, let me see.
It works. It works.
Oh my God, I can almost see it.
Yes, it works really well.
I can't see you anymore, but I can see.
But you can see the text.
Yeah.
And it's a great way. There's also printing options where you can do print screens and so forth. You can see your browsing history, and so that you can go back and see what you had looked at, instead of having to say, what was that website? I can't remember the URL. And then you can go back and check it. They also have a password depository now. So just like with LastPass and RoboForms, now they have one in place, and you'll notice they'll ask you, do you want to save this password? And if you do, now when you go to that, they'll automatically fill it in for you. So, I mean, there's a lot of options within your browser that I don't think you realize exist that can help you do more things.
Well, like I use Chrome, all right, and it has like the bookmark this tab that's up there.
Yeah.
All right, in the actual bar, there's you know what I mean? It also has the camera. So if I click the camera, all right, and it tells me what microphone's being used, all right. Yeah. The stars bookmark this tab. I'm not going to bookmark this tab because this tab is actually for this broadcast only, and it goes away. But still, it's. I remember when I used to use Firefox, and I used Firefox up until I got on Blab. All right. And I did. I used it from 2008 till 2000 and would have been 15 or 16 when Blab came out. And the reason 15. And I remember moving over because everybody in Blab said, well, Blab is optimized to work with Chrome. And I mean, I tried Chrome earlier in 2009, 10, and I was like, I didn't like it. So I switched back to Firefox.
Yeah.
And then I realized when all the stuff that works together in Chrome is why I went back to it. So if I'm on my YouTube channel, it tells me it's my YouTube channel. I don't have to re-sign in every time I go to it.
Yeah. And if you sign in, it does a lot of syncing between things too with Chrome, because it's through Google. And so it helps you with your email, and if you use Google Docs and so on and so forth, it ties in, just like with Microsoft, it ties in with all of theirs. Microsoft does the same thing with Edge. You sign in with your Windows Live site, or your Access profile, and then it syncs it across to all of them, including your Outlook and your documents that you use through Office and that type of thing as well. So they're making it more integrated. And I noticed too that the one thing that Windows has started that I'm not so sure I like too well is they integrate it with your phone, where you can have your phone on your screen. And it's a small box that you can move around and such, but there's been a couple times where I've accidentally hit it, and then it cuts me off from the caller. So it's not always the best, I think. And I'm not so sure I like it so much.
Well, yeah. All right. Here's what I would love something like that is I'm going to switch cameras on you guys. Let you see what I look at every day. All right. Let's see. All right. So this is the back side of me, right?
Wow. He's got a lot of equipment, guys.
Yeah. So, and then I've got lighting here, lighting there.
Wow,
and
dude.
I just recently, I'm going to X out of that. I just recently put this camera. This camera used to be hard mounted too, and I just recently loosened up the wire. So that, but yeah, and the reason I would like that, something like you said, is I could very easily put on this screen my phone, like right now. This is our notes that I run with. This is the screen we're actually looking at. All right, and that's the version I have of it. This screen is actually, you can't see it, but it's darker to take the less reflection out of my thing. But I went to this 3-screen setup through COVID because I wanted to be able to operate and do more. Truthfully, I'd like to add 2 more screens now. And that's how bad I've gotten. I know it's just like, horrible that that's exactly what I want to do. But anyway,
that's a bit much. But I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with your browser, and I would recommend that you go in. I know with Mozilla Firefox, it's not necessarily the 3 dots; it's 3 hash signs, where it's the 3 lines going vertical. So if we say 3 dots and you don't see it, look for the lines. There's 3 lines going vertically. So either way, there's a lot of options. Even in Microsoft's Edge, it gives you a lot of opportunity to utilize these things that helps you in your business as well as life. I just thought it would be a great opportunity to talk about, because I know we talked about it briefly, and I just thought it'd be interesting if anybody knew that these even existed.
Well, you need to be optimizing your business online.
Yep.
Yes, we are online more than ever before. All right. And you need to learn to find things that work for you. Now, I'm big with my clients, Katrina, of saying, how do you want to run your business? Not, well, great. You've got the Kartra tool and you've got, WordPress. So let me figure out how to work this for you. No. How do you want to make your business run?
Yep.
All right. I have my business run, and this is literally, I've probably said this a million times. I have an operations manual for my business, and I am always tweaking it so that basically my business is done and organized in a way, in sort and fashion that is Tim.
Yep.
All right. And that's why I actually learn how Tim screws up and adjust it. And literally, for instance, I'm going to tell this is something if this person actually connects in and watches the show is going to get mad at me because I said it on here, but a very well-known speaker, all right, reached out to me a month or so ago and said, "Hey, I want to speak at your events." And I'm like, "Sure, no problem." And texting back and forth, they wanted to speak at my one coming up next Saturday. And like, sure. So I said, I finally sent her, with a text, with email to their assistant. I said, I need you to go to this page and give me your information.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll tell my assistant to do that. And then they didn't. So I reached out. I was like, well, I need it today. If you're not in today, I can't have it. And I heard nothing. Yep. Yesterday, I get the email from them and the assistant. So can we get the details for so-and-so to speak at your event next week? And I'm like,
too late.
I filled the spots. I have a system to make my business work.
Yeah.
Google, all right, and these browsers have systems to make your business work for you.
Yeah.
Define how you want to make your business work, and then find the tools that have the things that make your business work for you. Now, Katrina, are you using Google Calendars or are you using a regular calendar?
I use Outlook Calendar.
Outlook, okay. No, I used Outlook when I had PC. That's what I used was Outlook.
And I use a combination. I have a Google Calendar as well as an Outlook Calendar, and they both sync together because there are some people that prefer that. So I make it easy for my clients, and I have both.
Well, let me ask you this, because you have the Google Calendar and you work with Outlook. I have, and I very easily could switch to Outlook. I have the whole Microsoft suite as a package I buy every year. Yeah. Because I still like WordPress, our Word documents, as opposed to the pages. But you and I also are using Kartra.
Yes.
Is Kartra compatible with Google Calendar?
Yes.
All right. So then is your Google Calendar then compatible with your Microsoft?
Yes.
All right. Now let me flip that. I'm a Mac guy. I am not using Kartra Calendar because it's not compatible with my Mac calendar.
Well, keep in mind, though, with Kartra, they're still working on this piece.
I know. Yeah.
It's not the 2 push. It only pushes one way, not the other way. Yeah. But yes. And
I use Calendly because Calendly does. Works.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, and here's the thing, though. When I have people set up appointments and so forth, I use something different. I use Dubsado. And Dubsado ties into Google and Outlook and all the other ones as well. So that's just the one I use for my personal preference. But there's a lot of them out there that you can utilize. It's just a matter of preference and what's going to work best for you. Like Tim said, there's a ton of systems out there. It's just a matter of how it's going to
Making
be
the tools work for you. Yeah.
implemented for your system. Exactly. For your business and work for you, as well as your clients, not just you, but your clients as well. It may be easy for you, but it may not be so easy for your client. So you need to put both hats on when you're putting those systems in place.
Well, now we're going to kind of transition into our last topic today with that, because of the fact of making this work for you and your clients. All right.
Yep.
And I know you know, I mean, you had down in here today, how are we representing our business? I personally, with calendars, all right, representing my business, is I don't want people to think they can grab my calendar and get access to me almost anytime they want.
Yeah.
I actually have I have a 3-tiered calendar system. If you're not on my email list, you get sent to the general page. The general page, you'll be lucky to find a spot within 3 weeks to get a meeting with me.
Yeah.
Period. That's just the way it is. You're on my email list. I send you to a different page because you're on, hey, I want to connect with you. Oh, great. You're on my email list. I send it here, and it goes through my personal page where those links are.
Yeah.
All right. Now, my mastermind has a page that they can get to. My mastermind inner circle, these people pay me money. They can get a meeting with me within 36 hours.
Anytime.
Anytime. Why? They pay me.
Yep.
They get priority.
Exactly.
All right. But that's when we go into now, you're talking about how to, you know what I mean? How well are you representing your business? So I want your notes on this first.
Well, I mean, the reason why I put this on there and I thought it was interesting is because I recently went to an eWomen networking event. And I think it's interesting that, especially with networking, when you're in a networking event and you're talking to people, you have to kind of succinct what it is you do and how you can help them. But like we talked about, 9 times out of 10, it's one of two things that happen. One, all they talk about is them and their accolades. Oh, I've done this, I've done that, and I've done this, and I got this award, and I got that, and then you're like, okay, that's fine, but I still don't know what you do. Or two, they go into how much they can help you, so much so they don't tell you the how in regards to getting to that point, or they don't, it just goes into this whole array of, oh, well, let me do it. For example, I can help you do blah, 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 blah. And you're like, oh, wait a minute. So they go over everything they can do. So I think when you're sitting down and you're in a group of networking events and you only have that succinct moment to talk to somebody, you have to be very clear on how you're helping them and that value and benefit, but not telling them everything. It depends on the audience that's in front of you or what you're trying to bring from that event. Maybe you're trying to bring in realtors, so this is what you say. Or maybe you're trying to bring in investors, so this is what you say. It depends on what you're trying to bring in at that moment. You don't have to go through your whole laundry list.
Well, let me do it this way because I know where you wanted to go with this, but let me bring you into this and say that, Katrina, I just invited you to my networking thing, and it's your turn to stand up and go. What do you tell everybody?
Oh, me right now?
Yeah, right now. Well, I mean, come on. I just put you on the spot. We don't even know who's in the room.
Mine is very quick. I say, my name is Katrina Garcia from KG Website Designs, and I help entrepreneurs take their website that's not working and make it work for them so that it builds their list, makes them more money, and helps them grow their business. Done.
To the point.
Done.
Yeah.
Done.
But now I'm sitting in that audience. I already got a website. I'm not even listening. Right?
Yeah.
But if I'm in that audience and my website's not making me money, did she just catch our ears?
Yep.
Right? Mine, when I go to an event, because 90% of the time I'm going to network and I don't hire clients into my inner circle mastermind when I just meet them at a networking event. No, you have to go through stuff to get into my mastermind. It's just, that's the way it is. I'm not letting anybody in. Yeah. I go to a networking function. All I do every time, and I do, Tim, stand up and tell about you. Hey guys, I'm Tim Gillette. I got a podcast. I would love to market you and tell everybody in my community all about you and your business. If you're interested in being on my podcast, come see me afterwards and sit down.
That's it. Simple.
It's simple.
Very, very simple. No. And people just go, oh my God, it's just the ad nauseum of, I mean, wait a minute. What did both you and I just do
that most people at a networking function don't do.
We got to the point.
Well, that too, but no, there's something we did, and both of us did it in our things.
We didn't talk about ourselves. We talked about them and how we can help them.
We talked about you and how we help you.
Are.
Yeah,
exactly. That's the whole point when you're networking or doing anything in business. And here's something else. We talked about this and how a lot of people are trying to reinvent themselves right now, especially with business. And what I don't understand is they're trying so hard. Well, I got to do this and I got to do this and I got to do this and I got to be unique and I got to, and I asked them, wait a minute, is there anybody else, Tim, is there anybody else out there like you?
Is there anybody like me?
Exactly like you.
I don't think so.
Is there
I'm
anybody
a strange
else exactly
bird.
like you? No, because you're an individual and you are that business.
Yep.
No more than there's anybody out there that's exactly like me. I'm my business. I'm an individual. That's what makes you unique. That's what makes you stand out from the competition is you. It's your business. It's you behind the business.
But this was kind of brought up. I was interviewing Jeff Hunter yesterday on my podcast. All right. Jeff Hunter kind of brought this up yesterday, and he's a tech guy. This guy's tech and can wheel stuff out in tech and funnels, and he's VAstaffer.com. He has, all right. He's a genius, right? And I says, well, tell me about something that makes you and fun. He says, Tim, it's all about the story. He says, I remember being a Boy Scout. We didn't have computers in the woods. We didn't have our cell phones with us. We didn't have our games with us. You know what made that campfire fun? The guy who could tell the stories.
Yep.
He was the coolest guy on the planet. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. It's about you and your stories.
Yep.
I get asked 1 million times a year. Well, not 1 million times. Let's go with 100 times a year. Okay. We want to be literal here. All right. 100 times a year. Tell me about Tim. Tell me about Zig Ziglar connecting with you. Why is Zig Ziglar part of my story? Because I wouldn't be a speaker today if it wasn't for Zig Ziglar. I didn't go hang out at Zig's house every Friday night and break bread with him. I wasn't over there for all the family parties. No. But Zig Ziglar touched me at a point in time in my life that I needed to hear it most. And when most people are out there going, oh, Zig, I'm like, so I don't know what Zig, he asked me a question. I answered it with a general answer as he was my friend and he gave me advice that impacted and changed my life.
And I think that's important too, as a business, is opening your ears.
Yeah.
And listening to what other people are saying and what they're doing as well, and getting those little nuggets and saying, oh, you know what? That's a smart thing. I can use that in my business and this way or that way. I mean, we're always learning. None of us are perfect, nor are we meant to be. And so the whole point of it as business is just being yourself and figuring out what works for you and your audience. That's the trucks. I mean, that's it, basically. Yeah. So before we go, I'm going to tell you what I did this week to help people. What did you do, Tim?
To help people. I mean, this very subject, to help people, this very idea. I have a list of people who have bought a membership from me for virtual events. Right. And I realized, man, I have just been slacking at communicating with these people. I mean, I got
that email.
You got the email. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I thought it was a great email.
Yeah. Let's see if I can find it now. Oh yeah, because I've had a couple people respond to it, right? And I just got another one respond. But hey, the email said, "Hey, Katrina, yes, I've been a slacker. I have not kept in touch with you enough. Moving forward, I plan on getting my newsletter out with updates every Sunday. I hope you are doing well, and I promise to give you updates on my virtual events soon." That's it. Didn't sell anything.
Very simple. I loved it when you said I'm a slacker, and I immediately was like, what? What's he talking about? I need to know more. What the heck? It brought me in.
I got to go and see how many people have opened it yet. I haven't even looked, right?
Yeah.
But that's it, all right? Some people are not willing to be honest with who they are and what they do, all right? And they're so busy trying to, like you said earlier, you know what I mean? Trying to be the overdoer, the overthinker, the over whatever. That they just need to stop and be them.
Yep.
And it'll attract people in. So anyway, with that being said, all right, we're coming up to the top of the hour. All right. Katrina, why don't we tell everybody how they can get a hold of us? You go first.
You can get a hold of me, of course, on my website at kgwebsitedesigns.com or via email at kgarcia@kgwebsitedesigns.com.
Cool.
And Tim, tell us, how do you get a hold of you?
You can go to timgillette.com, all right? And I encourage you to go there, all right, to find out, really, you want to find out about me? Go read my About Me page. Just seriously, go to timgillette.com/about. All right. And I will give you an insight that you've never thought before. Anyway, I help people with online marketing, make it simple, make it easy for your customers to find you, get to know you, and buy from you faster. With that being
that's
said,
similar to what I do.
yeah. With that being said, I think it's time that we kind of end it for another week.
Yay. Have a great weekend, everybody.
All right, guys. Yeah, have a great week. We will see you next week. All right. By all means, make sure keep in touch and let us know what we can do to help you.
Yep.